Okay, guys, we're back. Sorry about that little interruption there. Um, all right, let me see if I can find Seth. Okay, let's see here. All right, I think we have Seth. Hey,
All
Seth.
right. Hey, how are you?
How you doing? Thanks for joining us, man.
Pleasure.
Cool. Again, guys, sorry about that little interruption there, but we have Seth on the line here. Seth is the owner of Pompieri Pizza and Bull City Burger and Brewery and Bull City Solera and Tap Room in Durham,
Yes.
North Carolina. And Seth, I got to hear you speak, I guess it was last week, on a webinar about utility cost control and strategies, and felt like you had some pretty interesting things to talk about. So if you'll give us just a brief synopsis of your background and what you're doing with your restaurants right now.
Sure. So I went to cooking school. I always wanted to. I grew up in a restaurant family. I wanted to work in restaurants. My parents said, "There's no way you're ever going to do that. We won't allow you." But of course, I did anyway. And eventually worked my way around. I've been all over the world as a sommelier and also as cooking, and found my way to North Carolina, and ended up just loving the area and stayed. And I was always the kind of person who wanted to do their own thing. So eventually I was able to start Bull City Burger and Brewery. Actually, I started Wine Authorities first with a business partner, sold my share in that to open Bull City Burger and Brewery, and then Pompieri Pizza. And I'm in the car at the construction site. Probably the worst time ever to open a restaurant. We are getting ready to open Bull City Solera and Tap Room. We won't be finishing the dining room right now because it doesn't make sense. So we're focused on finishing out the kitchen and getting some to-go food going.
Smart idea. Now your businesses are B corporations.
We are. We are the
Can
first
you explain
certified
that
B
to the
Corp,
folks?
first certified B Corp brew pub in the world, and first and only two restaurants in North Carolina. And those are benefit corporations. So B Corp is a movement that is um, out to sort of change the world by certifying businesses to use your business as a force for good. And what that means is we work with a triple bottom line at Bull City Burger and Pompieri Pizza. People come first, planet comes second, and profit comes third. And a lot of times our profit is much lower than it could be, but I'm okay with that because we're taking care of people and planet.
Wow, that's pretty
Yep.
smart. Now, who does the certification for this?
It's a company called B Lab. You can look them up online. It's a big white bee with a red background and a circle. It's B Lab, and they're easy to find online. They do all the certifications. It's not easy. It's not a here, write a check and we'll just send you a certificate. You hang it on the wall. It took us a year to pass the certification the first time, and you have to be recertified every 2 years. They just changed it to 3, I think, but we've been doing 2-year recertifications.
So this has to do with energy conservation and recycling and treating
Yeah.
your employees fairly and everything down the line.
Yeah, it's so much more than just sort of the sustainability as far as environment. It isn't just like your water and utility. They really get into promoting from within and minority hiring and benefits and perks and paying fair wages and where do you source your food. And when you say local, you have to show maps and invoices and vendor addresses. It isn't just like take my word for it. You really do need to show where you're spending your money, and are you churning it in the local economy.
I like how that sounds for sure.
Yeah.
Now, the two restaurants that are opened already, how are you guys dealing with the virus? How have you had to pivot? Tell us a little bit about what you've done.
Yeah. So the idea of sort of folding up and just sort of waiting for help isn't our nature and not who I am. And so we immediately, um, I brought the entire management team together and said, here's what's going to happen. First of all, people. We are not going to lay off anybody. We're going to find a way to make sure that people are paid. So we looked at the best way to do that. We took everybody who wanted to continue working. We have a few people we furloughed by their choice, but that was maybe 3, 4 people tops out of, I have about 75 employees. Um, so what we did is we said, okay, we're going to look at everybody's average for the last 4 weeks prior to the virus, how many hours you worked. I'm paying everybody a minimum for the hours that they're losing. So if you used to work 35 hours a week and you're only getting 15 or 20 now, we're going to pay you to make up 20 hours to get you back to 35. We're paying everybody a flat wage for that. Then everybody who is working, we're paying a higher wage for working, and we are 100% sharing tips with the entire company right now to give everybody better. In a lot of cases, they're making more money now than they were previously. One of the blessings of all of this, if we have to find silver linings, is that I've always wanted to share the gratuities universally with everybody from the back of the house to the front of the house. And this allowed me to do that. Bartenders right now, there's no bartending. So they're thrilled to have work and sharing the tips, and everybody is sort of, all the ships have risen as a result. So that was the first step, is let's take care of people. I want to make sure everybody eats. Second thing was then, how do we pivot and try to survive? And our goal has been to cover labor every single week that we've been open. And we have this magic number that we know we're going to spend in labor per week. And we've hit it every week since this started. And so we're doing curbside delivery and takeout. We're delivering to neighborhoods. We're doing everything we can, putting packages together, just scrambling to do whatever it takes to make sure we hit that number. And hitting the labor is great, but just to remind people, there's 2 other parts of the equation, and that is all your fixed costs, which we're not covering, and then all of the food costs, which we're not covering. And so as a company, we lost quite a bit of money in the month of April. Between the 2 restaurants, we lost about $31,000. We were able to cover all our labor, which is great. Obviously, this is not sustainable. We have some money to go for a few months this way, and then I have to figure out how we're going to do that. But hopefully, we'll be able to find more money soon, with reopening or something. But it's just not our nature to say, oh, this doesn't work, let's give up. And so the irony of all of this is I've been adamantly against takeout food as far as like place an order online, because we do Neapolitan pizza. It's a thin crust pizza cooked in a wood-fired oven, and it is terrible in a pizza box. And so we did orders to go, but you had to come in the restaurant, you had to place your order so I could give you a hot, fresh pizza, and it had a chance of making it home in time, I felt. And burgers and fries, just, once you put them in a bag, the bun gets soggy, the fries get soggy, they lose their crispness. So again, it was come in, place an order, we'll back it to go. But that was the only way to do it. And now, of course, we are 100% online, and all the orders are made online, and everything that I didn't want to do or being forced to do. But it's been great. We have figured out ways to make it work and give people hot, fresh pizza and crispy fries, at least going out the door. And we're canning all of our beer now, which we only did as a brew pub, beer mostly in pints in a glass at the bar. And now we're canning and figuring out how to make that work. So we're doing it, fighting tooth and nail, but we're trying to make it.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
When you spoke last week during the webinar, you briefly touched on tips.
Yeah.
Can you kind of expound on that? Your opinion on tips?
Yeah, tipping is a funny thing. It's a very American thing. It's not customary in a lot of other places. And for some reason, we as Americans have this tight grip on tipping, as if it is the only way we can control the outcome of our experience in a restaurant, or somehow this is a positive. We see it, and yet you don't tip when you go to buy a couch, right? If you're not happy with the service you're getting, you call the manager over there and you say, hey, I need a different salesperson, or I need someone to help me because this is the frustration I'm having. And why we don't do that with restaurants, I don't understand. And a lot of tipping, we're a counter service place. You tip even before the service happens. For me, the issues with tipping are they're sexist, they're racist. Everything about tipping is antiquated. It makes no sense. And yet, if I say to somebody, how about I just raise the prices and you don't have to tip anymore? Most people out there say, that's crazy. Your prices would be too high. That's ridiculous. They'd rather pay $10 for a hamburger and leave a $2 tip than pay $12 for the hamburger with no tip. right? And studies have shown, like if you say free shipping, even though we all know psychologically there's no such thing as free shipping, people will always buy the TV with the free shipping, even though you could buy the TV for $50 less and pay $40 in shipping. They'll pay $350 with free shipping. And it's just a psychological thing, right? We think we're getting something free. We feel like tipping is some way to control the experience. And yet everybody in this industry that I know, we are 100% focused on trying to give you the best experience we can. So if you are not happy, the best thing you can do is speak up in the moment and say, hey, this isn't cooked right. Can you do it again? And we'll bend over backwards to make you happy and do it right. And yet people would rather be quiet and then leave a bad tip, right? As a way of sort of expressing themselves. And I don't get it. I really don't. We want to make you happy. And I'd rather just abolish tipping. It's not fair.
That's a very interesting point. Now, with the new place that you guys are working on, the Solera, how have you, I know that you said that you're going to concentrate on the kitchen now, but like moving forward to when it's finished and this is behind us, how have you changed your plans kind of midstream, or have you, with the new concept?
Oh, yeah. So we were under construction and, there's timelines and money already spent. So I sort of had to keep going. But I think a lot of us, when this all started, it was sort of we felt like it was a common cold kind of thing. Like, it'll all be better in a month. Like, everything will be normal again. And as time has gone by, I think we've all realized normal is a long way off. So we reached sort of this point where all the electrical was roughed in. We're building a whole new addition onto the restaurant. It was a former Chick-fil-A. And by the way, we're going to serve fried chicken on Sundays only. So it was a former Chick-fil-A, yeah. And we're adding on a whole dining room. It had no indoor dining. It was drive-through. And so we've built a whole dining room, bar, bathrooms, the whole thing. I reached this point where we were roughing in all the electrical and the plumbing. And I said, this just doesn't make sense. Why are we building a dining room that no one is going to be able to sit in and really enjoy? So we went ahead and stopped the construction. Once we got all our inspections done, the doors and windows are going in, and we stopped. And now we've gone to the existing dining room that was a Chick-fil-A, and it's being gutted so that we can at least figure out some way to get some food out of there. It still has one of the drive-thrus. It still has walk-up windows. So that's an advantage that we have, and let's take advantage of it. Let's utilize that opportunity to be able to at least have people drive up and pick up their food and drive through and or walk up and order food or pick up food. And so we're going to do that until it looks like it makes sense to open a dining room. Then we'll go back and sheetrock and get all the lights installed and all of that. But it didn't seem to make sense to spend money that we may need to keep alive longer, right? If I can hold that money back, that means we have a fighting chance of fully opening somewhere down the road.
Right. And speaking of opening, not fully, but depending on what the governor says on Friday.
5 o'clock today, there's a press conference, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Will you guys, if given the okay, will you guys open?
I'm not there yet. I mean, even at 50%, it doesn't make sense. First of all, I believe it should be 100% or nothing. Dining is a social thing. If we go out, I want to enjoy your company, have people coming and give you a great experience, and that means to me 100% to make it safe. I also really think about, we refer to the employees as heartbeats, and I think about my family here, right? My restaurant family. It doesn't make sense to me to expose them to risk right now until we feel much more confident about the systems in place and things are not going to spike and more people getting rapidly sick through restaurants opening partial capacity. I'd rather still do takeout food for now and then wait until I feel like we can do this safely for both of my family here, my restaurant family, and for our guests. So I'm one of those holdouts. I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, Seth, thank you so much for joining us. And folks, when you're in the Durham area, definitely check out Pompieri Pizza and Bull City Burger and Brewery and upcoming Solera and Tap Room. And hopefully we'll see them in its full force in the next few months. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah. if I can help anyone out there and you have questions, contact me offline, and I'm an open book. I'm happy to help people getting started. Anything I can do.
That's awesome. Well,
All
thank
right.
you for thinking outside the box and keeping folks safe. We appreciate
You
it.
bet. Thank you for
All
the
right. Talk to you
opportunity.
soon.
Bye.
You bet. Thank you. Okay. Thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in for the Stove Side Chat. And we'll be back next Wednesday. We'll have Chef Michael Bowling from Hotbox in Charlotte joining us. And I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much.